What up, it's your boy Pat, that Varsity Geek, here with another weekend recommendation video for you guys for the weekend of May 8th through 10th. Now, you know, every Friday I like to bring you guys a video with some things that you can look forward to over the weekend, some sports stuff, some video game things, and some nerdy things that you can watch over your weekend. So first, we're going to start with sports. Now, first off, I'm going to apologize if I butcher any of these names. Some of them are really complex and I'm not used to saying them, but I'm going to try my best. This Saturday, May 9th, is UFC 249, Ferguson versus Gaethje. The early prelims are going to start at 6:30 on Fight Pass. The regular prelims are going to be on ESPN and ESPN Plus at 8 p.m. And the main card is going to start at 10 p.m. on ESPN Plus. All of this is Eastern Standard Time. Now, the headliner is going to be a lightweight interim fight between Gaethje and Ferguson. The interim fight just means that these two people will be fighting out for the lightweight title until the current champion can come back and fight whoever wins this for the title. Now, the current lightweight champion is Khabib Nurmagomedov. But right now, with all the coronavirus stuff going on, he's stuck in Russia and can't get here for the UFC 249 event. So that's why Ferguson is fighting Gaethje instead of Khabib. But after all this is finished, Khabib and the winner of this fight should fight to unify the lightweight title. As with any other UFC event, there are a lot of good fights on the card. Another one being the co-main event, which is a title fight between Henry Cejudo and Dominic Cruz. Now, the Cejudo-Cruz fight should be very interesting. It'll be interesting to see the contrasting styles. You have Cejudo, who's going to be a really dominating wrestler, and you have Cruz, who has an unorthodox fighting style that keeps his opponents on their toes, makes it hard for them to come in for grapples, come in for shots, and really when he's fighting at his best, he's setting the pace and he's keeping his opponents at arm's length. On the main card, there's also fights between heavyweights Francis Ngannou and Jairzinho Rozenstruik. The heavyweight bouts are always exciting because these dudes can throw hands. In a lot of the smaller weight classes, it's strictly super technical, but with the heavyweights, you get a lot of heavy-handed people who can knock you out with one punch. And so the heavyweights, especially Ngannou and Rozenstruik, are known for their knockouts, and it makes for very exciting fights. And then you even have a heavyweight bout on the main card involving former NFL player Greg Hardy. Now, your thoughts on what he did in his personal life, getting cut from the NFL and not being able to return and getting a chance in the UFC, those are your own. But it'll be really interesting to see how he actually fights. If he's really able to keep it up with the UFC fighters, it should be interesting nonetheless. It's someone who, if you're an NFL fan and haven't really delved into the world of mixed martial arts, it's somebody that you're going to recognize, and maybe it'll get you interested in coming and watching UFC 249. But like I said, that's all going down this Saturday, May 9th. So go check it out if you're looking for some sporting events. And now for all my nerds and geeks, I've got an anime that I definitely think that you should check out called Akame ga Kill. Now, Akame ga Kill is an anime that came out in 2014. The plot follows a young boy named Tatsumi, who along with his two friends leave their village to try and go to the capital and earn some money so that they can help sustain their village. Because their village is very poor, they're hoping to go to the capital, be able to get good jobs with their fighting abilities, maybe in the military, and then be able to support their village and help all the people there. But once Tatsumi makes it to the capital, he sees that there's a lot of corruption there, and he ends up being saved by a group of assassins. And after being saved by these assassins, he joins their cause in order to overthrow the corrupt government there and really help the people of that country. I love this anime because the storyline is super interesting. It doesn't have that classic hero trope where a hero, just leaves his town, goes to the capital, makes it rich, and everything's all good. The show deals with a lot of difficult elements, such as how governmental corruption can really ruin a country, and how these assassins, who are pretty much kind of like vigilantes, are out here committing crimes and committing murder, but their overall goal is to really reform the country and save the people. So when you look at it, it really looks like they're the good guys, but they're still doing something that's very violent and honestly isn't the most comfortable for you to identify with. Now, the action scenes and the fight sequences are beautifully animated. It all looks really good. The movements of everybody looks really sharp, really crisp, looks natural, and you really care about all these characters as they develop along the way throughout the show. With all these people being assassins who've been wronged by this country, each character feels different and has their own motivations for why they joined the assassins and are trying to overthrow the government. So each character's story is very interesting. You learn more about them as the show progresses, and it's really fun to watch. It's also similar to shows like Game of Thrones or Attack on Titan in that no character is safe. Any character can be on the chopping block at any time, so you're always going to have that sense of suspense, wondering if the characters are going to make it, wondering if the character that you like is going to survive the ordeal that they're in right now, or just is it all going to come crumbling down at one time. Now, unfortunately, Like a lot of other anime, this show was finished before the manga could be finished. So they had to create their own ending to the story, and personally, I think that the manga did a better job of the ending compared to what the anime does. But I still like the anime and I think it's worth a watch. For the most part, the show is a pretty faithful adaptation of the manga up until they ran out of source material, so it's definitely something worth checking out. And if you like the show, you can always go back and read the manga later and see what I'm talking about with the ending. Now, Akame ga Kill was added to Netflix in March, so you can go check it out on Netflix or wherever else you can find it streaming. And then finally, if you're looking for a video game to get into this weekend, I would check out Dragon Ball Z Kakarot because they just had their first DLC released on April 28th. Now this DLC is focused on the Super Saiyan God Awakening, which, if you're a fan of Dragon Ball and you've watched Dragon Ball Super, or some of the more recent movies that have come out, you'll know that Super Saiyan God is a very hype transformation that came out since they brought Dragon Ball back with the movie Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. So in this, you're going to be seeing Super Saiyan God transformations, you're going to be dealing with Whis, you're going to be dealing with Beerus, all those kinds of characters, the kind of people that you would see in Dragon Ball Super. Now, if you don't know what Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is, it is the newest action fighting game out for the Dragon Ball series. It features a 3D action-based fighting system with great visuals and all the Dragon Ball Z craziness that you come to expect from Dragon Ball anime and for the video games. Now, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot has RPG elements in it, which are really meant to enhance the playstyle of the game and give you some customization options in terms of how you fight, the moves that you're going to be using on your characters, and just the ability for your characters to grow and get stronger. So with the Super Saiyan God transformation, getting to meet Beerus and Whis in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and all the other story elements that I'm sure that they're going to weave in, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is definitely a game that any Dragon Ball Z fan should check out, especially with this new DLC that came out. Now, I hope these recommendations were good for you guys. I try to give you guys some new interesting things to go through every weekend. Let me know how I'm doing. Chop it up in the comments. If you've played or seen any of these things, what do you think of them? Who do you think are going to be the winners from UFC 249? Are you going to check out Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, or have you already been playing it? If you've watched Akame ga Kill, let me know. Talk to me or other people in the comments about your favorite characters, favorite things that have happened, and just crazy things that you've seen from any of these shows or video games. I've been Pat, that Varsity Geek. Peace out, and I hope you have a great weekend.